EVO has just announced that they're going to have multiple of other locations to run their tournaments. Now, EVO is like the massive fighting game tournament. I'd say one of the biggest in the world for fighting games. Think of it as WrestleMania. WrestleMania is the biggest pay-per-view event for wrestling. EVO is the biggest fighting game tournament for, fighting games. Now, they've made an article right here, which is quite interesting because they've given us everything of what's going on. So I'm going to read it out and let you know what's going on. So for over 2 decades, EVO has been where the fighting game community gathers. Our champions rise and their legacy are cemented. What began in arcade tournaments has become the world's largest offline video game competitions, with tentpole events across 3 continents. Now we are evolving again. Now, I'm not going to read over all of it because it's just long, right? But the main thing here, what you're going to see is, they say community first always. So what EVO's ownership has always known from day one to today is that the community is the root of competitive fighting games. Community is the backbone of EVO events. It is where EVO's future comes from and where we are committing our new resources. Beginning later this year, EVO will be working together with the community on the ground level to elevate it and help it grow. We will be dedicating significant resources to locals around the world to help create sustainability for the bedrock of the FGC. We know firsthand that no event grows without local support, EVO included, and we want all events to have locals that can help them grow into pillars of the community. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty nice because, usually what happens is that, especially this is maybe something that's not really been said. Maybe I shouldn't say it, maybe I should, I don't know, I think I'll just say it anyways. But a lot of the time when the players reach a certain peak or when they are at a certain level, they stop going to locals. And, it's kind of like, you've got the top players that are really good, they might play with, they might fight against themselves online, but they won't go to locals. And then you've got all the rest of the players. Whereas now if there's an incentive or if there are being helped for community, then maybe the top level players, will mingle with the rest of the players. I have no idea. But yeah, that's something that happens quite a bit in the UK. I'll say from the beginning of the time, I'll say Street Fighter 5, Tekken 7 started doing that around season 2 onwards. You'll see top players going to locals and then sometimes you just don't see them. It's kind of annoying, but seeing this is pretty good because maybe that will just get everyone to come out again. Who knows? We'll see. Now, I'm going to cut this short. They're going to bring EVO at the beginning of 2027. They're bringing it to Brazil, Morocco, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, and China. Now, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I look at this and I'm like, is this too much? I look at this and I'm like, when I thought about EVO, becoming when I was playing Tekken 7 and stuff like that, and when I looked at EVO from Tekken Tag 2 days, I look at EVO as one big prestige event. I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, EVO is the one in America. That's the prestige one. That's the one that everyone wants to go to. And when I went there, it kind of kept up to what I thought it was going to be. And there's loads of players. Everyone wants to go there. Everyone wants to, win the tournament. But not only that, you get to mingle with people. There's VIP events and stuff like that as well. And it is pretty sick. But then obviously the Japan one came along and I went to the Japan one and I was like, yeah, no, the Japan one's sick. But I think Japan was sick for me because of just the culture, going out there, eating food, just having food out there, buying a camera equipment and stuff like that. The whole experience overall was amazing. The tournament was kind of the bonus if I was looking at it like that. And then we got one that came to Europe, which was the one in France, but I haven't been to that one. So I'm not even qualified to even say anything about that one. When it did come to France, however, I will say it did feel like, okay, you lot are spreading this tournament all over the place, and it's basically you just want to take control over everywhere eventually. And it's kind of it feels like when I guess these things, and I've said it on stream before, so it's when I guess these things, it's I can see it. I can kind of see how things are being set up. It's just, you look at this now and you're saying, I knew Singapore was going to be probably one that was going to come by. And then it was like Morocco's is kind of crazy to me. But then it makes sense because I feel like online connections for Morocco ain't that great. So you're kind of nurturing an offline community. That makes sense. Brazil, I'm unsure. China, I don't know how that is going to work because obviously, from what I heard, social media is banned in China. So I don't know how that's going to work in terms of broadcasting it, or even if they are going to broadcast it, or if they're going to just record the matches and put it up on. Yeah, again, YouTube is. I don't know how that's going to work. So they would have to think about the logistics of that. They got a year to figure it out. And then you've got Middle East, which I kind of gathered. You know, you've got the Esports World Cup. There's a lot of money being pumped into the Esports World Cup, and if you want to look at it, many people would say that that's the biggest fighting game tournament right now because of how much money is being distributed. But then it's just like, okay, well, it's invitation only. So it's not like an open tournament where everyone can go. But Middle East, Mexico, I think Mexico would be so sick for like, you know, King of Fighters, because Mexico over there, they're the kings of that, like 2D SNK games. I don't know so much about Fatal 3, but yeah. And then they've got Fighting Game World Championship. Now, I'm not really too sure what's going on with that, but yeah. I don't know, man. It's kind of left a weird kind of like vibe to me. Moving forward with conviction, on the back of our latest acquisition, have I said it right? If I ain't said it right, don't butcher me in the chat, bro. I feel like I said it right, and it's late as well, and I'm tired. We want to immediately share our vision of EVO. We want the community to know that we are here to grow fighting games globally together. This announcement represents only a portion of where you will find EVO in the future. These are just the first steps of a long-term vision we are committed to. We are incredibly and excited about the long-term commitments we can now make to the community, including support for locals, new EVO locations, increased prize pools, new event formats, and the untold opportunities that will arise from them. The FGC is never stagnant, and neither is EVO. Now, this is interesting because I didn't say this at the start, but yeah, Saudi has taken over EVO. Like they've just taken over EVO. It's not PlayStation anymore. So anyone that thinks it's PlayStation, that's done, right? I think PlayStation went down to partner now instead of taking over it. Now, yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. So I went to, good old Twitter where everyone shares all their thoughts and they're the nicest when it comes to giving their thoughts and opinions. And yeah, like you can see here, it says Arsenal is going to have 20 titles. That's what Rip is saying. Crazy EVO announcements and tourney run come through. EVO staff watching you duo hug after thingy. I have to break your neck. Oh, this is a meme. Just the way it is. I'm just a messenger. Okay. You got various people just saying stuff about it. Whether you plan to go EVO or not, certain places. This year, I'm not doing Vegas, but I'm doing Japan, Nice. I personally use EVO as place experience the area, master do anything. Yeah, Brazil is the biggest of the community. Yeah, so you can read everything that's here, right? Everything that's here, you can see. Now, again, like I said, I don't know how to feel. I really don't. I don't want to make this video too long. I think it is a bit excessive to have that many EVOs. Obviously, Vegas it should be the biggest one. We don't know how the Middle East one's going to be. Seeing as it's Saudi that's taken over it, I'm more than sure they're going to go above and beyond for the Middle East one. I'm more than sure. So we don't know. That's a lot of EVOs, man. I don't know. Let me know what you lot think in the comment section down below. As much as I love fighting games, I can't help but be honest and say, even if they just had the Middle East, China, and Singapore, like even that is a lot. Like that's like 7 EVOs. What you got to remember is, fighting game players, creators, we don't all have like the most money. You know what I mean? Let's just keep it a buck. We all don't have the most money, right? Who's going to all these EVOs? you know? And I know people are going to be like, but you don't have to go to all of them. You could just choose one. Bro, people want to go to the tournaments. We want to see what's going on, you know what I'm saying? And experience it. But I don't know, is this a good or bad thing? Because again, they're taking EVO around the world, right? Singapore's going to experience it. Morocco's going to experience it. You know, people that that probably can't even travel and leave Morocco or can't leave China, because there are certain countries where there are certain restrictions to like leaving and stuff like that, and getting a visa and all that stuff to go to other like EVOs, like maybe like Vegas or Japan and stuff, and maybe they can't experience it. So maybe now that everyone will be able to experience it, and obviously because there might be such a big viewing for it, maybe that will open up more doors. I have no idea. If you ask me personally, I just love the prestige of EVO Vegas. And then obviously EVO Japan was one of them ones. If you want to experience Japan and then have EVO afterwards, then it's amazing. I wasn't too like, and I know I could have, maybe I should have went to EVO France just because I'm from, you know, the UK, Brexit and all of that, or AKA previously Europe. But yeah, it wasn't really on my to-do list heavily, just because I've done EVO so many times. I've done EVO America and EVO Japan so many times, so it wasn't on my to-do list. However, this year I do feel like I want to go just to say I've been to EVO Europe. But Singapore, Morocco, Brazil, China, Middle East, Mexico. Wow. And they've left 2028, 2029, 2030 open. So that means they're going to try and be taking over even more. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this, man. I don't know. I want you lot to let me know. Let my community, you watching, if you watch this far, please leave a comment. Let me know what you lot think, because it's news that's just happened recently. I've just woken up. It's like 1:41 a.m. I went to bed at like 9 p.m. I'm now seeing this. I'm like, let's talk about it. Because, yeah, that many EVOs to me, does that mean the Vegas EVO is going to still have its prestige? Like, is EVO falling off? Is this the beginning of a takeover for EVO? Like, are they taking over, trying to take over all the tournaments? They are helping the locals. Like, yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you lot think in the comment section down below, man.